If you've ever felt the anxiety of a looming rent payment that you can't quite meet, you need to hear this. I'll take you through the often misunderstood world of CCJs, county court judgments, and how they can affect you as a tenant. A county court judgment is a legal decision made by the county court to make debtors legally obligated to pay their debts. It can be issued for many different types of debt, including against tenants if they owe rent arrears to a landlord. Rent arrears refers to the amount of money a tenant has failed to pay within an agreed time, which is taken quite seriously, and I'll explain why. Rent arrears are a high priority debt. It's crucial to address it as soon as possible. If you ever find yourself in such a situation, then make sure that you contact your landlord immediately. Discuss how you can pay back the arrears, perhaps by creating a realistic payment arrangement that you can afford. Your landlord has the right to begin the eviction process, but good communication can help avoid this. It's also worth mentioning that if you're dealing with substantial arrears, it might help to analyse your budget, identifying how much you can truly afford for rent. A CCJ for rent arrears can be issued, but it's uncommon due to the lengthy and expensive process. When a landlord applies for a possession order, they can also apply for a CCJ. However, if you don't pay a CCJ for rent arrears, your landlord can pursue enforcement to recover the debt. This can include orders to seize assets or recovery payments directly from your wages. Let's talk about eviction for rent arrears. It's a long, drawn-out process involving several stages. This includes receiving a notice to seek possession, potentially facing legal action, receiving a possession order, and finally, if all else fails, receiving a warrant of possession. At each stage, there are opportunities to address the issue and avoid eviction. However, should you fail to comply with the terms, you could eventually be ordered to leave the property. It's really important to know your rights as a tenant. For example, if you live in social housing and you've missed 8 weeks of rent, the eviction process begins with a notice to pay. If you don't pay or reach an agreement, the court can send you papers to be completed. You're not obliged to leave the property at this stage. Understanding your rights can provide you with more leverage and control in these situations. Now, let's shift gears slightly and talk about a common and vital document that you might encounter in this process, the county court letter. This is a court order that indicates you must pay a debt that you owe, and it's one of the many tools at a creditor's disposal during the debt collection process. If you get one of these letters, don't panic and don't ignore it. Help is available. But even before the court action starts, you're likely to receive a letter of claim. This is a prerequisite as a creditor must send this via post before a county court claim can begin. This letter will detail the debt that you owe, and it's crucial that you don't ignore this letter. In fact, you can arrange an affordable repayment plan at this point. Remember, you have to reply to this letter of claim within 30 days, or the creditors can take you to court. Here's a useful tip. Always ask for proof of the debt. The first step is to verify that the debt indeed belongs to you. I've got a handy Prove It template for you to use that I'll leave below the video, and it'll help you establish whether the debt's yours or not. So how do you respond to the letter of claim? Use a form included in the letter to reply to the creditor. If you agree that you owe the debt, then the next step is to provide details of your income and expenses. To make this process a bit easier, there's a free budgeting spreadsheet to help you, and it helps you work out what you can and you can't afford. Once you've got your budget in place, and you can make an offer of payment to your creditor. You might even be able to repay the debt in full, but consider offering an instalment plan if full payment will put you in financial hardship. If you're unable to reach an agreement with your creditors, it may lead to court action. The next letter that you may receive could be a county court letter informing you of the CCJ. So be proactive, engage in conversation, and remember there's always assistance available for you to navigate this situation. If you do want to look into debt solutions, then I'll leave a form for you below this video. It'll ask you a few questions like how much debt do you owe and how many people do you owe? And then at the end of the form, it'll connect you to a company that I've partnered with who can help explain all of your options. Some solutions can write off some of the debt and others can even lower your monthly repayments. It just depends on your unique circumstances. So click the link below and let me know how you get on.